Good morning, everyone. My name is Duncan Gilman. I'm the Dean of Students here at Splash Media U. I want to go ahead and get started on time, so I'm respectful of your time today. What this orientation and tour is going to consist of is mostly a walkthrough of the program, so you get to know Splash Media U, how it looks and how it works, and can start just diving into classes and homework assignments. What we're going to do in a minute is I'm going to switch over to the screen to show you the school itself, and I'm going to stay there until the end. If you have questions and you're watching on Google Plus, I've opened up the chat window, so hopefully you're able to chat those in. If you're watching on YouTube and that's not available, that's fine. Feel free to email us or get in touch anytime with questions. Or since you're on YouTube, don't forget you can watch this orientation again because it will be there right on our Splash Media U YouTube channel. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen over. So you may see it flicker for a second and look a little strange. And if you also notice, I may occasionally, if you still see me, glance over and check my phone here. I've got tech support on the line ready to make sure that everything looks the way it's supposed to look. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and switch over quickly so you don't have to see this for too long. There we go. And I'm going to just make this a little bit bigger so that everything looks the way it's supposed to look. Great. Let me just check, make sure everything's looking good. I think we're good so far. Hopefully I'll hear if something doesn't look quite right. So here we are on the main Splash Media U School homepage. This is what you'll see after you log in for the first time, because after the first time, it'll ask you to change your password to something that you set yourself, and then it'll show you a way to watch orientation and kind of get those first few steps out of the way. But this is what you'll see every time after that. You'll see we've got our courses laid out down the page: Foundations, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, blogging, etc. And then across the top, included in the navigation as well. Courses here, and then so on to the rest of our navigation menu, which I'll go over in a minute. Keep in mind, if you're enrolled in one single or multiple certificates, individual certificates, you won't see the entire list of courses here. You'll see your individual certificate. So you will see either Twitter or LinkedIn or whichever one you've subscribed to, in addition to the Foundations and Strategy courses, which are included to kind of give you an overall look at marketing on social media. So let's go back up to the top. And I'm getting a message from our tech team. It sounds like on YouTube itself, there's no specific place to chat in questions. So go ahead and take advantage of that if you're watching on Google+. And if not, on YouTube, you can always, after the orientation is over, leave a comment on the YouTube video if you go to it on the YouTube page itself. Or again, anytime you can feel free to leave us a message at our phone line or send us an email, and we'll be happy to answer all of your questions. So let's go ahead and start up here at the top with the top navigation. Again, you can find all the courses listed here. Our messages system is a way where you can review things that have been sent to you through the system. So you can see notifications of assignments that have been graded and assignments that you've submitted. Our resource library is a great way to come back to all of the templates and worksheets that we provide throughout the program, and these are great for you to use with your own business or your clients if you're a consultant. For example, a holiday calendar, a report template, a checklist when you're bringing on new clients or working with a business, a response policy for learning how to use social media to talk to customers and how to respond in an appropriate manner. Again, this is just the library of these individual resources. The resources themselves, so each of these individually can be found on the related class or assignment. So for example, in the content, if you're looking here, let me highlight what I'm talking about here. The content plan template is not only found here in the library with the rest of the resources, it's found in the content plan assignment. So when you go to do that individual assignment, you have it there, clickable, downloadable, ready to use. And again, we want you to use these for your businesses, so feel free to, at any time, take these, use them for yourself. Great. It looks like on Hangouts, questions is up and running. So again, if you're on, I don't mean to interrupt where we're going. If you're on Google Hangouts or Google+, go ahead and use that question facility, that little chat window if you have any questions. Moving on to support, this is a great place to find frequently asked questions. You may have questions about how to upload a homework assignment, or what happens if you can't view a video, something's messed up with the viewing of an individual class. You can find those frequently asked questions here, or you can open your own support ticket just by clicking here on the web. That'll take you to our support system. You can always email us or call us again and get your questions answered there. I'm going to go back to our main course page here. Well, I'm going to go back to the home screen actually, so you can see that here. Again, you can see courses running down the page. And I think it's time now just to dive into a course and show you what that looks like. I clicked on Twitter, and you can see we've got Twitter structured in a certain way. We've got an overview of what you'll learn in the Twitter course. Then we've got basics that'll walk you through all the setup and the initial steps for how to tweet, how to retweet, what the different things in the Twitter layout mean and how you can use them. And then our structure goes into what we call the tactical wheel. It consists of 5 different items that take you through any social media platform. And it consists of listening, building community, broadcasting, content, and conversion. And the reason we laid out each of our courses like this, and you'll notice Twitter and LinkedIn and blogging and YouTube, they all have this same format. The reason we did it this way is so that you can take what you learn in these platforms and apply them to any platform. So for example, we're currently working on an Instagram course. It's not up and live yet, but if you want to get started on Instagram, you take these same principles: listening, building community, broadcasting, and the rest, and apply them to Instagram or Foursquare or Yelp. Any of these platforms that you may be on for your business, you take the same tactics and apply them there. Let's go ahead and log in. Well, we're logged in. Let's go ahead and click on one of the classes so you can see a class live. I'm going to stick in the basic section here. And let me just point out, each of these links is an individual class. We have, for master certification, about 600 classes, and they average 3 to 4 minutes long. Some of them are longer than that. Some of them get as long as 5 or 6 minutes, because we really want to explain a topic in depth that requires more than that short, bite-sized amount of time that we set aside for most of our classes. But again, these are just short classes that cover one particular tactic. For example, down here, this class is how to use Twitter lists. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that class there, and in a second the video will load. And when you're ready to watch the class, you just click play. At the very beginning, you'll see, and I'll wait for it to load here, you'll see what you're going to learn in this class. You see objectives right up front. And let me let this whole screen come up. So I'll pause it right there, and you'll see exactly what you're going to get out of this individual class. So in this session, you're going to learn what a Twitter list is, how to create one, and some common uses for it in this one class. I'll go ahead and click play again so you can see. I think I'm actually, that's a familiar face there. I'm actually doing this class. I have the sound down because I didn't want it to interfere with our tour today, but then you just watch the remainder of the class. Caught myself at a great moment there with my eyes closed. That's perfect. You'll notice on the left we've got some navigation that keeps us in the basics section. So I don't have to leave basics in order to go to the next basics item. And the next basic item is perfect. It happens to be an assignment. These icons next to some of these links designate an assignment that's different from a class. And the assignments are put strategically in these places because after I've viewed a certain class or a certain set of classes, I'm ready to take that assignment. So for example, if I've just viewed the How to Use Twitter Lists class, I'm ready to complete the Create a Twitter List assignment, which is the next thing on the list in the basics section. So I can just, without leaving basics, I can click right there on the assignment and have my assignment presented here to me. And my assignment in this case is 2 parts. Sometimes the assignment has text entry. Sometimes the assignment asks you to upload a file. This assignment has you do both, which is one of the reasons that I want to show you this assignment as an example. So here's my assignment. Identify and follow 10 marketing executives, add them to a list. And again, the assignment has 2 parts. Part 1 is explain how you found the members. So what steps did you do to find these list members that you put into a list? And then part 2, upload a screenshot showing the list members. So when I'm ready to do that assignment, I'm going to click Add Submission. And that first part you can do right in this text box. And if you've ever used a word processing program like Microsoft Word or your email program, it probably looks a lot like this. It's got all these formatting options, which you can use. You don't have to worry about, because all I'm doing is putting in some text to explain here. And you can see as I type, that's where I'm doing part one. I'm explaining how I found them. Part two requires the upload. So again, some of our assignments just have an upload. Some of the assignments just have the part where I'm explaining something in the text box. This assignment has both. So in part two, I'm going to upload a screenshot showing the list members. A screenshot is a picture file that I've taken of my computer screen, not using a camera, but computers have built in a way to copy what your desktop or what your screen looks like. And there are different ways of doing this depending on whether you're using a Mac or a Windows-based computer. So, and if you don't know how to do those, if you may have seen as I went to the frequently asked questions, those are explained there. So you can check out those instructions on how to do screenshots. But what it does is create a file, just a regular image file that you can then upload into your assignment. And what I recommend you doing is creating a folder somewhere on your computer for Splash Media U assignments. That way you can save all of your screenshots anytime. In some cases, it asks for more than a screenshot. In some cases, you may be required to have a spreadsheet, which you could do in Excel, or a document, which you could do in Microsoft Word or whatever document program you choose. But I recommend that you file all of these assignments in a folder somewhere on your computer. That way, when you're ready to submit that assignment, all you have to do is open up the folder on your computer and drag that file right into this rectangle. Of course, I don't have to drag and drop. I can also click Add here and browse for that file on my computer, and it'll add it the same way. Click Save Changes when you're done. And when you click Save Changes, and I think there's even another submit window after this window, a final confirmation submission window. After that part, it is sent automatically to our instructors, who will grade the assignment and give you feedback. That's one of the interactive parts of our program, is that interaction, that live communication with an actual instructor. So the instructor will get the homework assignment, and within about a day, depending on how many assignments are on the instructor's plate, the instructor will give you a grade and feedback about how you did on that assignment. I'll tell you right now, I'll go ahead and take the opportunity to tell you that assignments and exams require an 80% score to pass. And if you don't get an 80% score the first time, that's okay. We want you to succeed in this program, so you'll have an opportunity to resubmit or retake the exam. Go to take a quick second here to make sure everything's looking good for our tech team, and I think we're good to go. So that's the basics of a homework assignment as you see them within the sections of your courses. Let me go ahead and cancel out of this. And I'm going to get out of our basic section and go back to the main Twitter screen. Down at the bottom, you'll see after the conversion section, here we go. There's the rest of Convert, and here's the Twitter exam. I just mentioned exams briefly when I talked about our homework assignments, but the exams are 25 questions per course. So for example, a Twitter exam, there are 25 questions that are multiple choice and true false. And again, there's an automatic submission when you go through the exam process. But in the case of an exam, those are graded by our school system, not by an individual instructor, not manually by an instructor. So with exams, you'll get feedback immediately about how you did. So you'll know if you need to retake the exam, or if you did fine, if you got an 80% or above, and can move on to the next item. Now with exams, one thing that we've built in is the ability to check your questions before you hit the final submit confirmation button. Just like in homework assignments, you have an opportunity to adjust things before you click submit. Same thing in an exam. You'll have an opportunity once you've completed all of your questions to go back and review those questions and change your answer before you hit submit. And again, once you hit submit, you'll see immediately which ones you got right, which ones you got wrong, and whether or not you need to take it again. If you fail an exam, don't worry, you can always take it again, but we've built in a 24-hour window so that you can study and brush up on the classes that you need to brush up on, so you get all the questions right before you attempt a retake. I want to show you something at the top here, the activities bar. I've got a more complete version back on the Foundations course. So let me open up the Foundations course. And again, I could have gotten there just by clicking up here, hovering over courses and going to Foundations too, but I wanted to go back to the home screen to show you from there. So here you can see an example. I'm logged in as a sample student here, and you can see what the completion bar looks like when I've actually completed a few items. So I can actually see what that a more detailed report, what that looks like when I click on the number I've completed. And you can see here in my sample account, I've completed these top two. I've completed this assignment and this assignment. I've not completed this assignment of finding profiles. I've failed this assignment of broadcasting examples. So I'm going to have to go back and redo that one. And I can get to it right from here. But I've completed this one. So this is a great way of seeing at the end of the course, before I take my exam for that course, what I've completed, what still needs work, so that I'm best prepared to take the Twitter exam. I want you to do the same thing when you're ready to take the final exam. The final exam is the final item here on the course list. And this is really just at the beginning a set of instructions to tell you how to access the final exam. And the first thing here, the first two things here actually are to make sure you go back to those completion bars at the top of every course and make sure you've completed everything. And not only that everything is complete, but everything has a completed status. So not only that you've done, let's say, 15 out of 15, but all 15 don't show submitted, they show completed. And what that may mean is that you'll have to wait, even if you've submitted all of your assignments, you may need to wait one more day so that the instructor has a chance to grade everything and that everything says complete. And then finally, the final step, when you're ready to take the final, after everything says complete, is that you send an email to our support email address saying, "Okay, I'm ready to take the final. Please open it up for me." And what you'll see once we make the final available for you is here in courses, you'll see an additional item that says final exam after this one. So it'll say Splash Media U final exam underneath that course, and that's how you know. Additionally, let me point out, since we're there, let me point out one more thing about our list of courses. As I mentioned, if you're enrolled in an individual certificate, that is the only certificate you'll see here. And what you notice here is that if that Pinterest is not included. We do offer a Pinterest certificate, but Pinterest currently is not included in our master social media certification. But again, if you're enrolled only in the Pinterest certificate, you will see Pinterest in this course list. All right, let me go back to our home screen. I think I've covered just about everything except for our long form lectures. We have one extra thing in addition to these platform courses that is required for our Master Social Media certification, and we call these seminars. And our seminars consist of 4 longer form lectures that take you through a particular topic in depth. And again, these, just like our classes, these are available 24 hours a day, anytime you want to access them, but these are longer. These are about an hour's worth of material, but we make up for it, and the exam for each of these is much shorter than a course exam. So the exams for these, they're only 10 questions long, but same format, multiple choice and true false. And there is a corresponding exam for each seminar. So you've got to make sure you've watched the seminar before you take the exam. And I'll just cover what our exams are so you know the topics here. Campaign management, great information if you're running specific campaigns for business or for a client, if you have social media clients that you manage. Social media return on investment. So this is really giving you the full numbers game. How do you measure your lead closure rate? Great way of really putting numbers to social media, which I think a lot of people are afraid of doing or don't know how to do or think that you can't do. But in social media is actually a lot easier to put numbers to than a lot of other marketing tactics. So a great lecture there about ROI. The tactical wheel, this goes into more into depth than is covered just in the way that our courses are laid out by listening, building community, broadcasting, content, and conversion. This is a more in-depth look at the tactical wheel and how you can apply it to your business or another social platform. Great information in that one. And then finally, search engine optimization. We do cover this a little bit. We touch on it in our blogging course and also a little bit in our video course because it's very important for video as well. But this really goes into depth and how you can really maximize your SEO efforts. So those are our seminars. And again, these are required material for Master Social Media Certification. And occasionally we rotate these out, but these are the current 4 that we have running. Go back to the home screen here. That is our walkthrough. I'm going to switch back out. Let me take a quick look and make sure we don't have any tech issues. I'm going to switch back out to the Hangout. Let me get rid of this for a second. I'm going to stop here. And I've got our chat window open. It looks like there are not any questions there. Let me switch quickly over to the question plugin here, question widget. No questions there. I'm going to go back to chat because I think that's probably the easiest for people to see. I'm just going to type in, happy to answer your questions now. Hopefully that's visible to everyone. I will stay on for a few more seconds before we end today's tour. You can always access our archive tours on our YouTube page, our YouTube channel, and we also do these live, so you can have your questions answered live on the air Wednesdays at the same time, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Looks like there aren't any questions coming through. Thanks again for joining us, and again, happy to answer any questions you have. Have a great rest of your day.